Car safety requirements have changed over the last 100 years. Back in 1899, there were no EPA engine testing regulations to follow, no safety standards to follow from the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, and engines were designed to be pushed into the vehicle during a crash instead of dropping down to prevent injuries like they are designed these days. Here we have a steam-powered car relied on a hand crank to start the engine, which was difficult and occasionally dangerous to use, as improper cranking could cause backfire capable of breaking the arm of the operator. In the beginning of the 20th century, cars had minimum safety features. Up until 1908, the only safety features on cars were the speedometer and electric headlamps. There were no seatbelts, stoplights, airbags, headrests. Cars had dangerous knobs and buttons that were sharp and penetrated the body during an accident, and there was no shatterproof glass. In the 1910s, speeding, reckless driving, collisions, and pedestrian fatalities grew in concern. In 1915, there were over 6,000 deaths, and in 1925, it grew over to 21,000 deaths from automobile accidents. Safety experts argued that roads needed to be engineered for safety. With the popularity of the Model T, road improvement became an important topic. Congress passed the Federal Aid Road Act of 1916. It created the Federal Aid Highway Program, under which funds were made available on a continuous basis to state highway agencies to assist in road
Throughout the next few minutes, we will discuss some of the more important safety features developed over the past 100 years. Four of the main components to automotive safety are avoiding accidents, reducing the impact force, making sure driver and the occupants are safely strapped in and protected in the vehicle, and keeping the vehicle in one piece. Keeping the inside of the car is critical for driver and passenger safety. One safety feature is the roof. The strength of the roof is important when it comes to rollovers, as it keeps the occupant safe when it is being crushed. Also, having the sides of the car stronger than years before and side airbags keep the occupants from being ejected during the crash, like as in a T-bone collision.
The first crash test dummy was invented in 1949. Dummies were created with internal signaling devices that measured and recorded impact. In the late 1960s, independent firms were supplying crash test dummies to automobile manufacturers who had to prove that their vehicles were compliant with the federal seatbelt standard. Up until 1950, seatbelts were rarely used in vehicles. It was not until 1965 when legislation was passed requiring that all vehicles created had seatbelts installed. Laws requiring passengers to wear seatbelts was first released in New York in 1984. Airbags were patented in 1951. They only could be used by direct contact to the bumper in the case of a collision. In 1991, side impact airbags were created. It was not until 1997 that airbags were mandatory to be in all new cars.
In recent years, automotive safety has become tech-savvy. Cars have gone from keys to keyless entry, followed by key fobless entry and start. That includes self-closing doors and trunks, Bluetooth-capable cars, hands-free technology, front and rear view cameras. By 2020, you will be able to unlock and start your car with your fingerprint. In 2015, Mercedes-Benz previewed the first fully autonomous car.